If you want to get in shape but have no time, you have to nail these 3 things. Miss even one and you'll stay stuck. Look, I see too many guys say I used to be in shape before kids, and it kills me every single time. It's not your fault. No one hands you a manual for juggling workouts, food and sleep while you've got a toddler screaming dad at 6 AM. I'm Lewis. I help busy dads or just men in general drop up to 20 pounds of fat without giving up family time or sanity or spending hours in the gym. I've done it myself and I help other men do it too every single day, and I have done for the past 10 years. Now let's start with the first of these 3 critical things. Thing 1 is to prioritize short, effective workouts. If you think you need hours in the gym to get in shape, you're setting yourself up to fail, trust me. It's like planning a 3-hour Sunday roast when you can barely microwave fish fingers before the next meltdown. Not ideal. You need meals and workouts you can actually finish. 20 to 30 minutes is enough. Trust me. When I first started training back when I was 16, I thought I had to just spend as long as possible in the gym. I thought that if I got in, did 30 minutes of cardio on the treadmill, then went and did an hour and a half in the weight section, then did some abs at the end, and then another 10-15 minutes on the treadmill, that would get me shredded, would get me abs, and I'd feel strong. And I speak to a lot of people on a day-to-day basis as well who also think that the longer they spend training per week, the better results they're going to get. But what if I told you it's not bloody true, mate? What if I told you that full body workouts 3 times per week, 20 to 30 minutes per session is all you need? And when I say full body, I don't mean doing a full chest session, full back session, full shoulder session, leg session, etc. all in one. I mean doing 1 to 2 exercises per muscle group per session. This is what I do now and what I've done for the past 3-4 years. This has been an absolute game changer, not only for me, but for my clients as well. I'm not sure about you, but there's some days that I just can't be bothered to train. I'm almost certain you have been through that too. Last thing you want, if you've been up early, you've got a full day's work, you might have kids, you might have a stressful job, and you've got everything else life throws at you, the last thing you want is to spend 3 hours in the gym on the evening and then get home and then plan for the next day. I'm not sure about you, but that doesn't sound like something I want. But what I've found is with full body workouts just 3 times per week, it can be easily fit into any job. Whether you're an accountant, bricklayer or window cleaner, I'm almost certain you can get this in. Another point is simple movements you can do at home or the gym. If you're someone who just cannot get to the gym a few times per week, no problem at all. I would recommend just getting yourself a bench and a set of dumbbells. You could do all your sessions, so 3 sessions per week for 12 weeks and make amazing progress. In fact, I've done this with a lot of my clients, link in description, no pun intended. If you're someone who just hates gyms, doesn't like going to gyms, or you live too far away from one, get yourself a dumbbell and bench, full body workout. I can guarantee you can make massive progress and get in amazing shape, no matter what your job or how many kids you have. Another point is don't chase perfect form videos for hours. It's just procrastination masquerading as learning, let's be honest. Have a skim through your workout before, look at the exercises you're performing, have a quick look at the exercise technique if you're not too sure on the video, but then just get in the gym, put your headphones in if you prefer, and just get it done. You've heard this one before, I can almost guarantee it, but consistency over perfection every single time. Again, if you're someone who's been through peaks and troughs worth of motivation, and you've started for a few weeks, you've stopped, and then you've started again, and you get frustrated with yourself because you're not staying consistent, why don't you ask yourself, why is this actually happening? And maybe you've thought, maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe I'm never destined to actually get in good shape. Well, what I've actually found is that you just haven't stayed consistent for a long enough period of time. But the main reason is why you haven't stayed consistent. And I can almost guarantee it's more because you just haven't had a plan which suits your lifestyle. And if it doesn't suit your lifestyle, if it doesn't fit your kids, if it doesn't fit your work, if it doesn't fit going to the pub with the mates on the weekend or going to Ibiza in the summer, you aren't going to stay consistent and it will not be sustainable. But even short workouts won't save you if your nutrition is a mess. That's why thing 2 is next. And before you ask, how do I make this actually fit with dad life or a busy work or social life, etc., that's exactly thing 3 covers after. But before we get into that, let's get into thing 2, which is nailing simple, flexible nutrition. You aren't a bodybuilder. You aren't going to be tanning yourself up or putting yourself in a thong for other men to dress you. If you're into that, go for it, mate. So you do not need to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice every single day just to get in shape. Let's kill that idea now. So I recommend the 3-7-80 rule. The 80% whole meals, 20% treats. This means that 80% of your daily and weekly nutrition, a lot of people seem to forget the weekly, means that the majority of the time you are eating well, means you're eating whole foods, fruits, vegetables, keeping your protein high. And 20% of the time you can just fuck it and do whatever you want. No, seriously. It just means that you can be a little bit more flexible. You can push the boat out a little bit, which is absolutely fine. Because if you're trying to be 100% for a few weeks, I can almost guarantee this is going to get to the point where you just can't carry on. And then you fall out of love with going to the gym or fall out of love with eating healthy healthy because you just can't sustain it. As I said, if you have kids, family, etc., this isn't something which you can stick to long term. The next point is high protein swaps that work with family meals. When I first got with my missus, she was a bit of a sucker in the food sense, because she always forgot to put in protein sources. Always base your family meals around the protein first, whether that's chicken, beef, turkey, whatever it may be. Base it around this first so you know you are hitting your protein, and the carbs and the fats can work around that, obviously within reason. The next point is to track intake for 1 to 2 weeks to learn. I've recommended this for years. I can go back into my diary from 2013 and 2014 and see exactly what I ate every day for almost 2 years. Now, I'm not recommending you do this. All I'm recommending is that you track your calories for at least 1 to 2 weeks. Don't worry, it's not that hard. And just make sure you understand your caloric intake, because I can almost guarantee that you are most likely, like the majority of men, underestimating how many calories you are actually consuming if you're struggling to get in shape. The next point is not starving yourself for separate kid meals. If you're an average sized man, anywhere between 5'9", apparently that's the average height nowadays, to 6'2", the last thing you want to be doing is putting yourself on a 1,000 calorie diet, especially if you're someone who is quite active with the kids, you've got a busy job, etc. You will lose the weight, don't get me wrong, although the majority will be water weight for the first few weeks, but I can almost guarantee after 4 weeks or so, you'll give up on it and you won't be consistent anymore, because it's an absolute drain and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But even if you train smart and eat better, it can all fall apart if you don't keep it simple enough to actually stick with it. That's what thing 3 is all about. Well, what is that thing 3? It's make it dad simple and sustainable. If your plan is too complicated to do on 5 hours of sleep, you will quit. So let's avoid that. It's like trying to meal prep a 5-course dinner with a toddler hanging off your leg. Sounds great in theory, but you need something that actually fits real life. And the first point in this step is choose a plan you can actually repeat. Because you might have seen a good program online, but if you've tried it for a few weeks and then you've got bored of it, well, you could argue that that's not going to be one which you can sustain long term. It's like you wouldn't continue to go to a restaurant you didn't enjoy. You would go to a restaurant that you've tried once and then you keep going because you enjoyed the first time. Same with a training plan. Find a plan that you know you enjoy, gets you good results, and just fits with your life. Next point, don't try to overhaul your life in a weekend. Don't get me wrong, it's great to have a little bit of an overhaul where you can actually start planning ahead. That doesn't mean to say that you need to change everything. You need to tell your missus that she can't cook certain food. You need to tell your kids that they can't have biscuits in the cupboard. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying gradually ease it in over the course of a few weeks and just make a conscious effort to do so. The next point is plan workouts and meals around the family schedule. The last thing your missus wants is for you to be doing a workout when she wants to spend that quality time together. I always recommend to my clients, and for myself as well, just get in early morning, get it done. I prefer to train around 6 to 7 a.m. then I don't need to think about it for the rest of the day, and it works around whatever else I've got in for the rest of the day and the evening. So that's what I'd recommend to you. Next point, set realistic goals you can actually hit, even on 5 hours of sleep. If you've barely slept, you've been up with your kid all night, you've been doing emails till 1 a.m, you do not want to be going into the gym, doing a 2-hour workout and trying to hit a max squat or a max bench press, or trying to run a half marathon. The advantage of having a sustainable plan is that it works based on your life. So if you've been struggling to sleep or haven't had a good night's sleep in general, we can cater for that and tailor the plan based on that and your energy levels. The next point is to model balance, flexibility and consistency for your family and your kids. If you're someone who does have kids, they want to look up and have a role model as their father. They want to see someone who is consistent over time and says they're going to do something and actually does it. Now, of course, I can't speak for you. You can do whatever the hell you want, but for me personally, I would like to show my kid that I can stay consistent and it's something which doesn't interrupt time with them. So if you're still thinking, I don't have time to get in shape, here's your reminder. You don't need hours in the gym or perfect meals. Nail these 3 things: short, effective workouts, simple, flexible nutrition, and make sure it's actually sustainable with your busy life. So this is exactly what I teach all of my other clients to do as well. If you want more no bullshit advice you can actually use, even on no sleep, check out this video somewhere over here, and this will point you in the right direction. Also, if you want 30 days of free, no bullshit insights to dropping up to 20 pounds of fat without disrupting your busy life, hit the link in the description.